Hi, folks. This is Ben from Thrive New Orleans and Launch NOLA here. Wanted to do a quick walkthrough of the EIDL application information so that by the time the portal comes live, you will be able to have all of your information ready and you can just hop right in there and get your application in to hopefully increase your chances of getting your loan processed. I know that the second round of funding is expected to go fast, so want to make sure that you're prepared. To start off, you're going to want to go to SBA.gov. If you follow the prompts for the coronavirus guidance and loan resources at this moment, this is Saturday, the 25th of April. There is not yet a portal that you can get into, but that portal is going to be live soon, and there will be options to be able to click in and see the actual portal. It'll just take you right to it. So you'll have to click around. Likely it'll be a banner, likely it'll be on the front page. For now, it is closed, and so we're unable to get through that. But this would be the website that you come to, sba.gov. Once you go here, you will click into the portal and you'll see a portal that looks somewhat like this, right? So you'll go through disclosures, business info, business owner's information, additional summary, and submit. The form itself is going to look a lot like this. So you can see some screenshots that were taken here, things like this. However, we're going to use a form that has all of the information in one place that we're going to need. So you can fill this out now and use this as a cheat sheet whenever the portal comes up, and then you can just look at the information that you already have together, put it in the portal, hit submit, and then it is on the SBA side to process it. So the first thing you need, business legal name. So this would be the one that is on your articles of incorporation. If you are an LLC or corporation or partnership, this is not your DBA. This is your actual name, probably ends with co or inc or LLC. Your trade name, that would be your doing business as name. So if you had a business, for instance, if I had one called an ice cream shop, this is what I use for the PPP example, Datcone Creamery LLC, but it just goes by Datcone. I can put Datcone Creamery LLC right here. Datcone is a trade name. Your EIN or social security number. EIN is going to be the number that you got from the IRS whenever you first started your business. You should have that floating around, either a document or in your email, or if worse comes to worse, you can contact the IRS and get that so that you can put that in there. If you haven't incorporated, if you're not an LLC or a corporation or a partnership, and you are an old-fashioned sole proprietor, you can use your social security in here. Gross revenues for 12-month period prior to the date of the disaster, January 31st, 2020. You're going to want to go into your records and find out how much you made. Again, revenues is top line, how much you've made in general. So if you have, if you're doing a landscaping business, just look at all of the invoices that you've sent your clients, all of the money that's come in. Hopefully this is in an accounting software or written down somewhere that you're able to actually total that up. Cost of goods sold is the next one that you're going to want to look at. Now, cost of goods sold as it relates to the EIDL, let's see here. Cost of goods sold, my understanding is essentially almost, for these purposes, almost everything that goes into selling your product or service. So cost of goods sold for product is a little bit more straightforward. For services, you might be wondering, what's the cost of the good? It's a service. This would include your equipment over the past year. This would include your operating costs. So all of those things, really, it's kind of a bucket term for all of the costs associated with what it takes to sell your goods or sell your services. That's not necessarily true in all accounting, but for this application, that is what they're considering. So you can look, if you have your profit and loss statement, you're able to get these two numbers really quickly. If you don't, you may have to spend some time piecing these together, and you will want to have proof of these, because they can come back and actually ask you to submit further information to prove these things. So hopefully you have this in accounting software written down somewhere, or you can even pull some bank statements and say, this is what these are for if I needed to categorize them. But that's the gross revenues and cost of goods sold. Rental properties, this is only for those of y'all who have rental properties, lost rents due to the disaster. You can put that in there too. For many of us, that's not going to be the case. Primary business address, pretty straightforward. Again, if you are a home-based business, just put in your home business. Your home address, excuse me. If if you're a construction company and you have multiple sites, this is your mailing address. So it's not the sites that you're doing it, but it is actually where does your mail go. So it can be your home address. Business phone, business email. Again, if you don't have an official one, just list your personal one in here, the one that you use for your business. The date business established, you're going to be able to find this on your articles of incorporation. For some of us, that might require logging into the Secretary of State website, gobiz.gov for Louisiana, and actually looking up our articles of incorporation to see when our business was officially established. If you're a sole proprietor and you don't have that official articles of incorporation, consider it whenever your first sale was, and try to get as close as possible if you don't have a hard date on that. Current ownership, since when have you been the owner? Number of employees as of January 31st, 2020. So fill that in there. How many were employed by you? That's part-time and full-time. And I believe you can also consider independent contractors as well. So if you have 1099 employees, you can consider them for this. Owner information. This is pretty straightforward. If you are a single member LLC, if you are the sole owner, this is all of your information here. If you do have multiple owners or have a partnership, it is going to get a little bit more complicated, but really you're just going to have to fill out multiples of this page, and there will be a spot for that in the application portal. First and last name, title and office. For many of us, this is going to be founder. This might be owner, operator, etc. Ownership percentage, again, for most of us, if we're single member businesses, it's going to be 100%. This is asking for your individual social security number as the owner. So this is not your EIN, your tax ID for your business, but this is your actual social security. Are you a citizen? Yes, no. And then they do need banking information so that whenever you are awarded the funds, they can just put it right in there. So whatever bank that you have your business bank account with, you're going to want to put in there. If you don't have a business bank account, now is the time to do it. There's a lot of local banks I know here in New Orleans that you can still open up a business bank account relatively easily. And you're going to need the same kind of information that you provided here, your articles of incorporation and your EIN, to be able to do that. So if you have that, I would encourage you to open that now so that you have a business bank account that you can put down the bank name, routing number, and account number. You can find both of these on a check if you're not sure of what those are, but you have business checks, and that way they can drop that in direct deposit. There are a bunch of questions that you have to go through. You're not engaged in illegal activity. This is pretty straightforward. If you're doing something illegal, you're not able to get your support from the government. So you can't be delinquent on child support obligations and be asking for this. You're not an agricultural enterprise or aquaculture or co-op or nursery. So if you are one of those, I'm not sure why this doesn't apply, but apparently it does not. Applicant does not present live performances of, so you're not doing anything with, you're not soliciting, you're not doing strip clubs, you're not doing anything like that. No gambling. You're not a government lobbyist. and you cannot be a government entity. So just walk through those. Make sure that you answer those honestly, because they will find out. Have you been convicted of a criminal offense connected with a riot or civil disorder or other declared disaster, or been engaged in anything producing something obscene? So this isn't just saying any criminal offense. Please be mindful that it is in connection with a riot or civil disorder, or creating or distributing a product or service that was obscene, according to a court. Have you been suspended or debarred from contracting with the federal government or receiving federal grants or loans? That should, if you qualify and that's a yes, you should probably know about that, because I'd imagine there's a lot that goes into that. So are you currently subject to any indictment, criminal information, arraignment, or other means of formal criminal charges in any jurisdiction? Again, make sure to mention yes or no. Have you been arrested in the past 6 months for any criminal offense? Yes or no. For any criminal offense other than minor vehicle violation, have you ever been convicted, pled guilty, pled nolo contendere, or placed on pretrial diversion, or been placed on any form of parole or probation? So again, this would be yes or no, and it's actually for any of the above, A, B, or C. So that answer is answering for all of those. So once you get through those questions and this information up here, that is actually all of the information that you will need to put into your EIDL portal. Again, the website is sba.gov. You'll be able to follow prompts as soon as the portal is open. So please take some time today, this weekend, to get all of this information ready, so that as soon as that portal comes open, you're able to take this information, drop it in there, and you're not scrambling to pick up the pieces. And you can make sure that you are one of the first in line to get the second round of EIDL funding. As a quick reminder, the EIDL is not the forgivable loan. There is a cash advance up to $10,000 that you can request that is automatically forgivable. However, the loan itself, the economic injury disaster loan, is not the forgivable loan. In fact, I believe it is maybe around 3.5% interest deferred through the end of the year. And so it's just a helpful low interest loan. There you have it, 3.75% up to $2 million, and long-term payback. So it can be helpful, but you do have to repay it. Don't want you to get that confused with the Paycheck Protection Program, which is a forgivable loan when used for qualifying payroll or business expenses. Good luck.